Sources will be posted in the description of this video, and this comes from legend sources. The objective of the Galactic military was to keep worlds in line with the Empire, put down separatist holdouts, and end rebellions. To police the known galaxy, it's going to require a force several times larger than the Grand Army of the Republic during the Clone Wars. The estimated number of member worlds is 1.75 million, with 69 million colonies and protectorates. First, it is stated in the Imperial Handbook the Galactic Empire consisted of 20 over-sectors on the map on page 137. An over-sector ranges from dozens of sectors to hundreds of smaller sectors. As stated in the Imperial Handbook, there are thousands of sectors, each with trillions of citizens in them. Now, thousands could mean 2,000 regional sectors, but the number I've seen is 1,024 regional sectors from the Essential Atlas. This 1,024 number comes from the Ruusan Reformation, which Chancellor Valorum reorganized the number of sectors in the Galactic Republic, as seen in the screenshot. This source comes from the Essential Atlas, so we'll use the 1,024 sectors as a standard when it comes to scaling the Empire's armed forces. As for the formula for solving the estimates of the Imperial Armed Forces, it will be 1,024 sectors times X. X is the variable for larger formations, or whatever numbers are provided from sources. So let's start with the Imperial Navy. According to the Imperial Sourcebook 2nd edition from the Star Wars role-playing game, a sector fleet consists of 2,400 ships, which 1,600 are warships and 24 are Star Destroyers. By taking the total number of ships in each sector fleet and multiplying it to the 1,024 regional sectors, here is what the total amount will look like. To further break down this number, the total number of warships would be 1,638,400 ships. And since there are 24 Star Destroyers per sector fleet, it would be 24,576 Imperial Star Destroyers. This leaves the remaining amount to be support ships, which amounts to 819,200 ships. To top it off with the moon-sized battle station superweapon, this includes the Death Star. Now I want to provide these estimates of numbers at the time when episode 4 starts. These numbers throughout the war will change, not to mention the construction of a second Death Star, as if that was not a waste of resources. After episode 6, the numbers will change again to a lower number. Putting on my editing marshal hat on, I forgot to include the Super Star Destroyer class in these numbers. According to the Star Wars Imperial Handbook, none of the Super Star Destroyers are in service, listed on page 42. Listed in the handbook is not only the Super Star Destroyer, but the Sovereign and Eclipse class Super Star Destroyers. All three classes were under development and had not entered service yet. It appears that the Empire was 19 years old at the time of the publication of the Imperial Handbook, as indicated on the first sentence of page 5. I want to mention I have not spoken about the orbital structures, and this includes space stations and shipyards the Imperial Navy may use. Looking at the map on page 116 in the Essential Guide to Warfare of major shipyards, I count around 32 major military shipyards. I cannot imagine the amount of bases required to support a force this size, not to mention not all the ships will be active. Some will undergo repairs and refit, others may be placed in the reserves or decommissioned. Moving on to the Imperial Army, again I will be using the formula of 1,024 regional sectors times a sector army. In the Imperial Sourcebook on page 101, a sector army consists of 774,576 troopers, 1,180,309 personnel, 66,640 repulsor craft, 13,992 heavy tanks. In the Essential Guide to Warfare book on page 126, it states 1,572,864 personnel. Here is the total number of personnel for all sector armies for both sources. In the Imperial Source book, there's a further breakdown of personnel and equipment. Here is what it would look like. How I arrived at these numbers is by applying 1,024 regional sectors to the personnel and equipment. These numbers do not include reserves, intelligence, or additional support personnel, as it could be even larger numbers since the Imperial war machine is vast and large. Finally, Stormtroopers. This can be a bit tricky. I can provide estimates on how many are aboard Star Destroyers. If we go with the amount of 24,576 Star Destroyers, this includes Class 1 and Class 2 Star Destroyers, here's what the grand total will be. I used the 9,700 Stormtrooper number and multiplied it by 24,576. It will be challenging to calculate the grand total of Stormtroopers due to how many worlds and colonies in the Empire. I do not expect Stormtroopers to police every world in the Empire, and the bulk of the force will be stationed in the core and mid-rim worlds. There will be others in the Outer Rim world shown in Episode 4 as they are on Tatooine. If I am wrong, feel free to correct me on this or show me your math. Anyways, I'd like to know your thoughts on this.